How should democracy deal with diversity? In the 1968 Olympics, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, two American athletes, had just finished a 200-meter race at the first and third places. When it was time to receive the medals, they removed their shoes and stood on the podium in their black socks. They wanted to represent the poverty of African Americans. They clenched their fists and raised them in the air to symbolize black power. Australia's Peter Norman, who had finished second in the race, also wore a human rights badge to support his fellow athletes. All three of them wanted to highlight the discrimination faced by African Americans in the USA and their demand for equal rights. African Americans were subjected to discrimination and inequality even after the abolition of slavery in the US. The athletes were responding to this very social division they were experiencing back home. There is some form of social division in almost all societies. People experience social divisions based on caste, class, creed, language, gender, and many other things. But why do we have social divisions? While some people believe that social differences lead to social divisions, that's not entirely true. Social differences like caste, religion, language, or class divide people into different groups, but these differences can also unite people. For example, Peter Norman was not an African American. He still expressed his solidarity with the other two athletes. All three of them stood united in their criticism of racial discrimination. Our identities are different in different contexts. It could be about language, religion, region, or sometimes even love for a particular sport. That's right, being a cricket fan is also an identity. And when the Indian team plays against another team, the fans stand united despite all differences in religion, caste, or language. So, that makes it clear that social differences do not necessarily lead to social divisions. Then what does? Social divisions come into existence when social differences overlap with one another. For example, in India, Adivasis tend to be poor and landless. These overlapping social differences, in this case being poor and landless, in addition to being an Adivasi, can create deep divisions in society. In a democracy, political parties already compete with each other to create their support base. And they often take advantage of these social divisions, which can make matters worse. Northern Ireland was a site of this socio-political division. Hundreds of lives were lost in the sectarian fight between the nationalist and unionist parties there. In former Yugoslavia, the politics of social division led to the splitting of the country into a number of independent countries. If the politics of social division can lead to such dangerous results, should we even allow such politics? Well, the idea of democracy is not to ignore the concerns of a particular community, but to address them in the best way possible. For that, we need to stick to constitutional principles and avoid violence at all costs.